The one and only Ahmed Ali.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
And then I started doing more research and I found you, and I hate doing a video, but the coaching calls was one of the things. And then you had another video that caught my eye where it was specific, outside the PMP, but I knew this is real content. This is things that will be on exam, right?
I did hard work for sure, but I think the follow-up, sir, you did. I don't know how you managed to do the follow-up with one particular student like me. You have hundreds of students. You are just keeping an eye on each of the students. So after my hard work, I can say that the credit goes to you, sir. That is for sure.
Hi Amar, good morning. Yes, I cleared the exam. Thank you so much for your support. And this has happened only because of the customized roadmap and mocks, and you always keep on asking us to do proper RCA, detailed RCA. It happened only because of the detailed RCA. Yes, this RCA helped me a lot.
Thank you for all this guidance and support you gave me. Mr. Amir, thanks for our team.
So I was just looking at his post, who cleared the PMP, and he used to post the success stories on daily basis. So I reached out to Alina and I asked her how is his program or something. So she said you can trust him and you should join this program if you are looking for it.
It was a very customized base feedback that I was getting from sir, from you.
So yes, follow-up is very important, and thank you very much for that. It made me accountable. If you didn't ask me this often, I would have slacked off more.
I would say your course was super important. I think this was the main part, once you understand the course, and then I think the mocks were super important. Your emphasis on mocks, you kept nagging us that, get this mock done, do RCA. All of this was super helpful because questions were they were similar. So yeah, mocks were, there are so many mocks that you have, and if you do all of them, I'm pretty sure anybody who goes, who does them can easily clear a PMP.
Amir, first of all, thank you so much. I think without your guidance, it took me 1 complete year. I was preparing for PMP through books and everything. So I was giving some mocks also available online, and I was not able to, have that confidence that I'll be able to clear. But I'm telling you, after attending the classes, especially after doing the mocks, doing the RCAs, I was feeling confident enough that yes, I can attempt it. And the day you told me to book your exam, I still asked you that are you sure that I can give the exam? And you said yes, you are ready.
First of all, I thank you a lot for the privilege, because when I started encounter with your program through LinkedIn, so some of your talks, always motivating me, I can do it. So I always follow you, almost everything, all your journeys. I watch all of them, even the one that they speak in your local language.
So that was not an easy journey, and it would not be possible without you. I really appreciate the support. He was always available for my questions and always put me in the right direction. And actually, if I want to say how was the journey, my journey started 2 years back when I first called you for the SP, and then you directed me to PMP, and then we did SP after that, and then you tricked me to do the PGMP.
Thank you so much, and again, Amir, thank you so much, and your mocks are really good. I mean, yeah, please, everyone should do your mock for sure, and then they will be all prepared for the exam. And trust your program.
And then you came with your follow-ups, and that kind of really boosted me. Those daily follow-ups, making sure that I was getting the mocks that I needed to do completed, and following up on me, it really boosted my motivation again. And as I was started doing those mocks, I got an opportunity for a job which required me to have PMP, so I had to go for PMP before I get the interview.
Mostly coaching goal is for you understand how you will solve the question. Mostly it is like that. We can only do the 10 or 12 questions, maybe less than that. But main thing is it will come into your bones that you have to do elimination technique. So you cannot go just, okay, this is the answer, I will go directly put this answer. That is the main thing. It will come into you that you have to do elimination technique. That is the best thing for coaching all.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, with the right guidance from yourself, I managed to do good in the exam and to clear the PMP. I would say that your approach was really helpful because I'm not that type of a person who would sit there and read a lot of theoretical things to get things done. I'm more of a practical person who would prefer practicing over sticking to the theoreticals. And
I would definitely say that the root cause analysis for me was the key. And here's why. Is some people try so hard to memorize all the processes and how they're all linked together. And if you do this, then you got to do that. And some people, maybe they think that way. That was very hard for me. It was just a lot to memorize. I'm not Amer Ali. I can't do that. So for me, just the process of actually answering the questions with your technique of process of elimination. And then when you're left with always like two answers, which one do you do? And if you get it wrong, you have to go do the root cause analysis. So thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you very much for everything. Fantastic. I would not have done as well as I had done if I hadn't had that foundation that you gave me, for sure.
Who here wants to be successful? Raise your hands.
Welcome to another session of coaching call from Amir Ali. This is Jane Martina, PMP, lead coach from Amir Ali's team. And I'm so happy to have you all join this session today. So without much further delay, we will be moving to the question answer session. So I would like to address what is the objective of this session. This session is to let you know how you can approach a PMP question, identify the keywords, and using elimination technique, how you will be able to choose the right options. So let's get to the session. So the first question number 20. Agile teams are building predictive load balancing features atop infrastructure provided by a long-standing vendor operating under a fixed price contract. The vendor's delivery lead, Suren Malik, insists on a large batch deliverables and resists participating in joint refinement sessions. Iteration reviews consistently show misaligned interfaces and mismatched priorities. The program sponsor is concerned about delays but want to avoid major contractual disruption. What is the most effective next step for the Agile project manager? So the options are: A, replace the vendor with a more adaptive partner and initiate a competitive procurement cycle that supports Agile-friendly contract models. B, renegotiate contract terms to incorporate incremental deliverables, shared refinement cycles, and mutual incentives tied to iterative outcomes. C, invite the vendor to participate in a short proof of concept iteration to observe Agile benefits without altering contractual expectations. D, seek legal guidance to enforce strict adherence to contractual obligations, ensuring the vendor follows specifications regardless of Agile timelines. So your time starts now. When you are answering the question in the comment section, kindly put the question number along with the option. Okay. So, guys, we are having like 17 members right now watching this video and participating. So I would like to see answers from everyone. So you can kindly comment in the comment section mentioning the question number, and further we can have a discussion, and then we can identify like how we can solve the questions. Okay, if my voice audible and if there is anything disruptive, you can mention in the comment section so I can address towards it. Okay, going back to the question. So they are agile team are building predictive load balancing features atop infrastructure provided by a long-standing vendor operating under a fixed price contract. So they are building agile teams are building something what the vendor has been doing under the fixed price contract. So the vendor's delivery head, he is insisting on large batch deliverables and resists participating in joint refinement sessions. So when they are moving from predictive to agile, they wanted to have this thing done, but the vendor lead is not ready for it, and he wants to have a batch deliverable. So large batch deliverable. So the iteration reviews consistently show misaligned interfaces and mismatched priorities. So there are the working agile teams working, and there is a predictive vendor working on a load balancing feature, and whenever they are collaborating and viewing iteration reviews are happening, they are finding there are many misaligned interfaces and mismatched priorities. So the sponsor is also concerned about the delay, and he doesn't want to avoid major contractual disruption. So that means the sponsor is not ready to remove this particular contract. That's what we are able to get from the questions. So now let's go to the options. So first, replace the vendor with more adaptive partner and initiate a competitive procurement cycle that supports agile friendly contract models. But if you see here in the question, there is a keyword which says the sponsor does not want, the sponsor wants to avoid major contractual disruption. That means this option can be eliminated at the first place. So let's go to the option B, renegotiate contract terms to incorporate incremental deliverables, shared refinement cycles, and mutual incentive tied to iterative outcomes. This seems like the vendor concern is he wanted to do a large batch deliverable, and that is why he is not participating in the refinement session. So this option says directly addressing to that solution, like, okay, you are not ready for a single delivery. You are not ready for a small incremental. So let's see, like we can renegotiate the contract terms. Okay, so that seems to be like okay, working right now among A and B. B stands good, but that you should not be like directly going and selecting it. Let's go to the C option. Invite the vendor to participate in a short proof of concept iteration to observe agile benefits without altering contractual expectations. So this is like calling the vendor. Okay, you say like you wanted to do in a large batch, but what if it will happen if you do it in short proof of concept iteration to see whether it will work out for you or not? And maybe after that they can decide if it works out with them. Okay, if it not, they will take the next. So the question also highlights what is the most effective next step for the agile project manager. So when I compare B and C, C is like more aligned towards calling them and analyzing the part first, and then B follows like, okay, if they are not okay with that, then you will be acting with the next solution as B. So among B and C, C takes a lead over there. Okay, now we should go to the option D and eliminate it. Seek legal guidance to enforce strict adherence to contractual obligations ensuring vendor follows specifications regardless of agile timelines. So this is like enforcing some activity there without understanding whether this kind of agile POC will work for the vendor or not. Maybe once when we discuss with the lead to know about whether it will work out or not, it will be easier for them to take further actions. So the effective next step will be option C, even though option B seems to be a direct solution for this particular problem. Option C will be the most effective next step for the agile project manager. Is everybody agreeing with the explanation? If yes, you can put there yes, and then we will move on to the next question. So in agile, one of the takeaway is not in agile, but exactly the mindset, the PMI mindset for the exam is, yes, he is not participating. I can see the question. There is a comment that the particular person is not participating in joint refinement. Why he is not participating? Because he has a resistance to see whether he wants to only do in a large batch deliverables. He is not comfortable in agile. But to make sure like why he is not comfortable in agile, they should have a proof of concept iteration to see whether it works out or not. Then if it is not working out, maybe they can go in for a large. So first, he is not joining for sprint review sessions. So if you read the question again, it will say the iteration reviews consistently shows misaligned interfaces and mismatched priorities because they are not joining in for the joint refinement sessions where they have to discuss about their requirements and realign. When it will happen during the iteration reviews, and following they will be working on the requirements further, right? So even before getting to know what is the concern, why they are not coming into agile, so always they will prefer to have the PMI will prefer a project manager to have a proof of concept or a demo session or a little analysis to be done at the first place compared to the real action for solution. So B stands to be a really solving solution. But if in case, if they had come for the POC iteration and then they see like, okay, agile is working out, maybe they can go in for a different way of working out on that will be followed that proof of concept session. Agreed? If yes, you can put yes. If no, maybe we can discuss it later as well. Okay, so I can see few yes here, but I want the person whether it is convincing for them, whether the explanation is convincing for them, you can put over there so we can further discuss it. Okay, later. Fine. So it is always PMI mindset. If you have an option to analyze whether it is going to work out or not as a first option, that will be given the more precedence compared to actual solution. It may seem to be a solution, but it is not a direct solution. If you have an option to choose analyze, that will be taken as a precedence, and then even the real answer. If there is no option like C, right, then B will be the right option. Since we have an option C, we will be first going on with the analysis mindset first, and then we will be having the real action item as an option next. Okay, moving on to the next question. Mid-sprint development of a supermarket loyalty app interface revealed potential data privacy vulnerabilities flagged by compliance. The product owner prefers to continue sprint work uninterrupted to meet an upcoming rewards launch. The engineering team is concerned that proceeding without addressing the issue may jeopardize certification under regional privacy regulations. Past audits highlighted penalties for customer data handling lapses. What is the most prudent step for the Agile project manager? Option A, continue sprint work while arranging a meeting between compliance and engineering to address the privacy concern after delivery. B, suspend sprint progress and initiate a broad compliance review across all application components before assuming. Option C, convene compliance, engineering, and product owner to quickly align on the risk and adjust sprint priorities if needed. D, wait for the legal to deliver a formal compliance report until it is complete. Okay. Yes, I can see people answering with justification as well. That's really good thing. Okay, so let's decode the question. So they are in the mid of a sprint. Okay, they are developing a loyalty app, and their interface revealed that there are data privacy vulnerabilities by compliance. So they have seen, okay, they have not compliance to certain data privacy and it is vulnerable. And there are three people. One is the product owner says, let's continue with the sprint without any disturbance because there is an upcoming rewards launch. He prefers, he's not saying, but he prefers during the meeting. And the engineering team, they are concerned that without addressing the issue, this may jeopardize certifications under regional privacy regulations. And they have also had past history of audits where they will be penalized for customer data handling lapses. So as a agile project manager, what will be your first priority? So with this, we will approach the options. Continue sprint work while arranging a meeting between compliance and engineering to address the privacy concern after delivery. No, we have to do it because compliance take precedence over all the requirements, right? So you can eliminate option A. Option B, suspend sprint progress and initiate a broad compliance review across all application components before resuming. So yes, we have to address the compliance issue, but that doesn't mean you can suspend the sprint progress. Okay, so for any reason you will not suspend unless there are a few reasons like the product has become obsolete or due to any regulatory or the governance side from the government of the country, they have certain things to be blocked or has to be removed, then it will be suspended. But other than that, it won't be suspended at the first place. So you can eliminate option B. Option C, convene compliance, engineering, and product owner to quickly align on the risk and adjust sprint priorities if needed. This is the most preferred PMI frameworks mindset option because when there are different parties involved, so always PMI wants us to collaborate, convene between all three or whoever has been participating to come into a place and discuss and decide what can be done further. So as we see in the previous question, like doing analysis as the first step, if any issues are coming up, what has to be done? The project manager has to bring in all the relevant stakeholders and then discuss collaborate with them, and identify what is the next step. If that option is there, you have to always give preference to that option. So option C stands good compared to A, B, and C. So we have to rule out the option D also. Wait for legal to deliver a formal compliance report until it is complete. No, we cannot wait for a legal to deliver a compliance report. It is also something like option B, like you wait for something to come upon, but instead you have to take a proactive measure. So what that can be done, what is the risk, how you can mitigate the risk, or what is the risk strategy that you are going to carry out for this particular scenario. So option C stands good. So if you all agree, you can put in the comment section, then we can go to the next question. In a government software project, key developers sudden leave jeopardizes delivery of a cyber security safeguard required for compliance in the upcoming sprint review. What is the most appropriate action for the project manager? So A, require the developer to work remotely during their leave, stressing the urgency of government compliance deadlines. B, request senior management to arrange a quick compliance discussion with the team, focusing on the safeguard delivery. C, organize a rapid alignment session with the team and compliance representatives to reassess sprint goals and adjust priorities. D, prepare detailed documentation of the safeguard requirements and communicate to the stakeholders about that. Right. Yes. So again, this question also has something coming up with the urgency of compliance. So a person who was working on the cyber security safeguard requirement has gone in on a sudden leave, and that has left the team with like what has to be done and something. Since it is a compliance and it has been planned for the upcoming sprint review, so it stresses that they have to do something immediately. Immediate action is needed on that. Okay, that's the stress over here. So let's see to the options. So option A says, okay, you have to ask the developer to work remotely in their leave because we don't know, we cannot ask them or stress them. Maybe in real time, in real projects, somewhere when we are not able to know how we have not transferred the knowledge, and then if the person is on not on a health occasion or a health leave for health reasons, we can see people requesting them to work on, but according to the PMI it is not the right option, so you can eliminate option A. B says request senior management to arrange a quick compliance discussion with the team focusing on safeguard delivery, but here that is not a concern. They are very clear about what is the compliance requirement that the team has to work on the safeguard delivery. Even though if you request the senior management with the compliance. That is not the concern over here. So you have to eliminate option B. Option C says organize a rapid alignment with the team and compliance representative to reassess sprint goals and adjust priorities. So when the person is not there, when the team is taking up that and working on it, is the most appropriate action here. But when the team is taking up from them and they want to confirm whether whatever they are going to do is right or not, so they should have a representative from the compliance to reassess the goals and adjust the priorities. So that stands as a good option as of now. Prepare detailed documentation of the safeguard requirements and communicate stakeholders about that. That may not be the appropriate action now, but it can happen like after they have done their things, and maybe they can document the safeguard requirements, but that cannot be applied here because we don't capture the requirements in the application. Instead, we update the user stories in the product backlog, right? So you can eliminate option D as well. So yes, we will be moving on to the next question. In a digital marketing project, the team's design software license unexpectedly expires, halting work on critical campaign visuals due for release in 48 hours. What is the most effective initial action for the project manager to take? Option A, request that the team to look for alternate software. B, raise a critical issue ticket to IT to renew the software license. C, recognize campaign tasks to recover lost time and work on printed banners from a local vendor. D, work with IT to establish a license management process to prevent similar issues in future projects. So I'm yet to see the answer for these questions in the comment section. Okay, so let's decode the question. So there is a project where they are using a digital marketing. Okay, so what is their activity is in next 48 hours they have to have a critical campaign visuals. Okay, so they are working on it. They need to prepare that visuals for the campaign, which is in 48 hours. But suddenly their software license expires. So this is kind of a issue which is going to be like a they call in software like showstopper. So which is going to stop your the progress, right? So this is something kind of that issue. Okay, so they're asking what is the most effective initial action for the project manager to take. So that is the keyword there. Okay, request the team to look for alternate software. No, that might not be the right initial action for the project manager because we don't know like within the 48 hours whether this can be a useful software or alternate software, whether we can, the entire team can depend on a new software in which is going to be there in the next 48 hours. So that cannot be there. Then B, raise a critical issue ticket to IT to renew the software license. This seems to be the most ideal option, because the question says effective initial action. So buying a license can be very short compared to buying a new software and getting to know about it. So when you raise a critical issue ticket, they have to address the cycle time is like very low. The response time should be like within 4 hours. So when you raise a critical ticket to IT, yes, it can be resolved in a 6 hours or 7 hours time, right? So then still they have time to start from where they have left. And C, recognize campaign tasks to recover lost time and work on printed banners from a local vendor. No, that cannot be done, because they are working on something which they have to do it from themselves. Taking it outside to the vendor is not a preferred PMI option. Option D, work with IT to establish a license management process to prevent similar issues in future projects. Yes, there have been corrective action as well as a preventive action, because here the question emphasizes on initial action. So the initial action for whether it is a corrective or preventive will be raise a ticket.
Martina, are you done with the question? This question? Martina, are you done with this question?
Yes, we just solved it.
Hi, Martina. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you?
yes, I
Maybe
can
my
hear you.
computer has some problem.
So yes, Amir, we just solved this question. You want to proceed?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, I was able to hear you from the beginning. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, your voice has a weird noise. So maybe I can ask. Guys, can you hear me? If someone can hear me, just want to share a few things with you. Martina, you are doing an awesome thing. Thank you for always doing it. Which cap should I wear? Okay, ambitious. So, voice problem from my side or Martina's side? Whose voice is breaking? Martina, can you mute yourself? Martina, how many questions we have solved? You are muted.
4 questions, Amir.
4 questions. Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Martina. If you can, thank you for that. Okay, guys. So first of all, I want to put few things here, and that's very important that I can put into that. Whenever, like in the last 1 week, 22 students have cleared PMP, and these coaching call are the number one reasons which they have done. And I want to point out here why that is important for you, why these coaching calls are extremely important to you, why they are working into it. We can understand the exact nuances here. And the second most important thing book the exam or not. Martina, can you put in all the groups that Amir is here and he's sharing the question answer so people can join? I see only 11 people. Reshma, can you also put in your group? Mirza Shad Saab, can you put in your group? Kashif, can you put in your group? Zagam, I want people to join so that the information I want to share quickly with you guys so that we can go with that information, and then you guys can take over with Martina also. She will be solving question answers as your coach. So very important thing when we are solving question answers, and I am seeing you guys are doing it in a good way, but we need to be consistent here. Consistency is greater than creativity. Consistency is more important than everything else. Okay. So I see many of you are doing things. Okay. Even you are Even even you consider yourself you are not intelligent. This one thing, will make sure we get the PMP done. Okay, this one thing make sure we get the PMP done, right? So put in the chat box when is your exam. Put in the chat box when is your exam. Give me your exam date. Exam date is very important because we should have a target there. If you have not booked the exam, Reshma, I know your exam is 15th of February. We just booked the exam. Irshad sir, when is your exam? Zagam, I know your exam we already booked. Like we should have, even if you did not get a date, at least a date in the mind should be there. Okay, a date in the mind, a date in the brain that okay, I want to give the exam on this date should be there. 7th February, we are there, like 8 days. So you should stop the coaching call, you should do the task. And this is very important. 17th February. Oh, you did not get the 15th. Exam date is very important. Okay. Then I need a second most important thing for you to identify the keywords. When you are solving question answers, I need this thing from you. Okay, I need this thing from you. Okay, 4th of April, it shuts up. That's perfectly fine. This I need. And I was looking at the question that you guys were doing. You are not using elimination technique in answering the question answer. That is a must thing. You must have elimination technique there to share with them what answer you are looking into that. What are the ways, what are the answers, what you are looking into it. These three things are the most important. You must have a target. What target you have? It should be clear, fix. You need to use keywords in solving the question answers and elimination. Okay. I did not put slow down here. Why? Since Martina is giving you that is not a problem here. We already have that lab. Martina will be you use elimination technique to answer that question. Martina, are you here with us? If you can come back. Okay. Over to your coaching call. You can take it back.
So is my voice,
Your voice is still breaking. Your voice is still breaking. Maybe it's the internet or whatever it is. Maybe leave, join again. I'm here with them. I'm here with them. Okay, leave and join again. Okay, so I see Kashif Saab, Irshad. Okay, now let me put it more in a way, in a roadmap way, but in a while you go and join again. Okay. When we talk about the roadmap, on with that target. What's your target? And for that target, what's our roadmap? For example, now we have 4 cases here. February. And 4th April. I had these 4 cases here, 4th April. Each should have a different roadmap, right? So right now, Zagam, you should be doing random or elite mocks. Kashif, you should be working on simulator. Kashif, who is working with me after this call? Okay, Zagam, you also. And then Reshma, I know Sudha is working with you. Irshad Saab, we need to work hard and get this date back. Okay, we need to get this date back to our preparation so that we can do it. Into that, Martina, if you're back, if you can talk again.
Amir, I think there is an continuous internet disruption.
Now it's good.
Now?
Now it's good. It's very good. Okay, Martina, over to you back. Thank you. I should remove myself.
Okay, so last we were solving this question, and yes, B is the initial effective action as per this question. So moving on to the next question. Okay, on an aesthetic development project, a key team member is frustrated with the current risk management strategy, feeling it inadequately address the potential for unpredictable scars and wounds depths. What action should the project manager take first? So option A, implement a contingency fund for delays. Option B, consult with aesthetic experts to gather insights on managing related risk. Option C, adjust project timelines and milestones to allow for a greater flexibility in response to changes. Option D, re-evaluate the risk management plan and risk register with entire team to incorporate feedback on risk. Okay, so let's discuss the question over here. So I can see a few of them have responded with the option. So when you see the question, it is like they are working on an aesthetic development project. So their risk strategy is not up to the mark where it is addressing the unpredictable scars and wounds depths. So that was the concern raised by the team member. So what should the project manager take first? What action should he take first? So that is the key here. Okay, the keyword here is what action should the project manager take first? So that says that we should know what is the first step according to the PMI mindset. Okay, so that is what we have to give focus on. So option A, implement a contingency fund for delays. So the concern is on the risk management strategy, and this option talks about a contingency fund for delays. So it is irrelevant. You can directly eliminate this option A. So option B says consult with aesthetic experts to gather insights on managing related risk. Yes, can be a good option because one of the key members is saying this is the risk management strategy is inadequate. So getting that checked with the aesthetic expert also will tell you whether it is managed right or not. Let's see option C, adjust project timeline and milestone to allow for greater flexibility in response to changes. So we will not change or adjust timelines and milestones, which will also have impact to the cost and schedule. So we will not be doing it unless if the situation demands for it. Right now, they have not very satisfied with the risk management strategy. Okay, so that doesn't need to have any project timelines to be altered. So we can eliminate that option. Re-evaluate the risk management plan and risk register with the entire team to incorporate the feedback on risk. So this option is more towards alignment towards collaboratively working with the team to identify what else are there, what else similar to this kind of a risk strategy, what else strategies needs attention. So that will be the first step as a project manager that he will collect, and then followed by consulting with the aesthetic expert to gather insights on the risk so that they can be sure like how they can do it. Okay. Guys, even before the start of the video, I asked whether the voices are clear. If not, you can put it over there. So if anytime this happens again, you can just put it in the comment section so I can make sure like I can make sure that it has been corrected. Okay, thank you. In a construction project stakeholder meeting, a senior engineer repeatedly derails compliance discussions with technical details. With regulatory inspectors scheduled to arrive in 72 hours, meetings are overrunning and other stakeholders are frustrated. What should the project manager do first to keep meetings focused? Option A, emphasize the agenda at the outset and redirect discussions to compliance topics, passing technical deep dives for a dedicated follow-up. B, assign a co-facilitator to manage technical diversions and time box discussions starting with the next meeting. C, introduce a parking lot log for technical details and circulate post-meeting action owners to address them offline. D, allow brief exploration of the engineer's concern to maintain rapport, then proceed with scheduled agenda items. Okay, so again, let's decode the question. So here, the stress is on. There is a regulatory inspector scheduled to arrive in 72 hours. So what they are discussing is, they are discussing about the compliance with technical, they are discussing something with the compliance, okay? In that particular meeting, a senior engineer, he derails the compliance discussion with the technical details. So which is not the intention of that particular discussion. Okay, so that discussion is derailing because every compliance discussion he is updating with the derailing or delaying it with technical details, which is not relevant to that particular meeting. So other stakeholders are frustrated. So as a project manager, what you will do first? Okay, now the emphasis, you understood the questions emphasis. The emphasis is the meeting is for compliance discussion, but the senior engineer derails with the technical details, which is not expected to happen in that meeting. Okay, so A, emphasize the agenda at the outset. and redirect discussion to compliance topics, pausing technical deep dives for a dedicated follow-up. Okay. This seems to address both the things. It is not like one is addressed, one is left out. Here, the project manager's role is to emphasize what is the agenda for that meeting. Okay, so that is one thing. And if any discussion is derailing from the compliance, he has to redirect the discussion to compliance topic. And whenever there is a technical deep dive is there, he has to pass it and then he has to dedicate it for a follow-up. So this is kind of addressing all the three concerns of this question, but we need to rule out the other options as well. So option B, assign a co-facilitator to manage the technical diversions and time box discussion starting with the next meeting. No, we don't have much time on that. They just wanted to make sure when there is a regulatory inspections that is going to happen in 72 hours, their priority should be for the compliance of the regulatory requirements. So the meeting should be focused on that. So option B, you can eliminate it right away. Option C, introduce a parking lot log for technical details and circulate post-meeting action owners to address them offline. That is also not a concern over here. Here, the technical details shouldn't be a matter of discussion in the compliance discussion. So you can eliminate that. Option D, allow brief exploration of the engineer's concern to maintain rapport, then proceed with scheduled agenda items. Actually, this is like convincing the engineer's concern to have a good rapport in the meeting, but that is gonna derail the meeting again. So you have to stick to the agenda of the meeting. So you have to eliminate the option as well. Okay, if you are agreeing on to this explanation, we will be moving on to the next question. If not, you can put it in the comment section so we can look into it. What is your concern and I can address it on that. Okay. So question 26, resort renovation project faces unpredictable regulatory inspections. Again, this question talks about regulatory inspections and uncertain delivery of imported materials. So there is something related to, okay, we will do that post analysis of the answer. So delivery of imported materials. The grand reopening is scheduled in 2 weeks and delays could result in lost holiday bookings worth millions. The project manager struggles to finalize the schedule. Which scheduling technique best manages planning under these conditions? Use backward pass analysis to compute float and identify end date feasibility based on current assumptions. B, adopt rolling wave planning to define near-term work in detail while deferring later specifications until inspection dates and deliveries clarify. Apply dependency structuring to remap relationships among activities and isolate supplier regulatory constraints. Expand lead lag buffers between tasks to observe uncertainty without altering. Okay. Okay. I can see only one answer. Fine. So what is the keyword? What are the keywords? What is the exact scenario that is given over here is there is something scheduled in 2 weeks, and there are few things that you have to take into consideration. And what should the project manager do in this condition? So they have also given a keyword like which scheduling technique best manages planning under these conditions. So this question puts you in something where you will first of whatever is clear to you, you will work on it. And when the things comes, when it is like when it is scheduled in 2 weeks, you will first focus on the primary things that needs to be done. And once that is done, then you will move on to the later requirements that needs to be addressed, right? So let's see which option has this kind of an approach towards that. Backward pass analysis to compute float and identify end date feasibility based on current assumptions. We cannot figure out that because few of the activities that they have mentioned for the float and end date is very clear. They have 2 weeks, and whichever that can be minimalizedly done for that particular period for the opening, that has to be focused on first, right? So we cannot go with the option A. Option B says adapt rolling wave planning. So what is a rolling wave planning? So it is like you will have very higher level of the requirements. So when you get into it, you will see what exactly needs to be done for that particular division. And then once that is done, then you will move on to the later requirements that is available, and then you will be doing it. So adapt rolling wave planning to define near-term work in detail while deferring later specifications until inspection dates. So whichever can be addressed and identified for the grand opening, that you will be doing it at the first place. So that particular scheduling technique is termed as rolling wave. Okay. So we have figured out this can be the option. So we have to eliminate other options as well. Apply dependency structuring to remap relationships among activities and isolate or supplier regulatory constraints. So you cannot, yes, first you need to identify the regulatory supplier constraints there. Then you have to immediately address to it. And then you have to remap it. But what here they are particularly talking about is they are asking something called scheduling technique in the question. So option C may seems to be more relevant thing. Option B has the exact term of scheduling technique for it. So option B still stands ahead of option C. Okay. Option D says expand lead lag buffers between tasks to observe uncertainty without altering, but this doesn't address anywhere about your constraints about the regulatory things and the imported materials. So among these 4 options, B and C both are right, but with one keyword emphasized in the question where they ask which scheduling technique, and option directly has rolling wave planning mentioned there. So which also has the same meaning as option C. So we will be considering option B as the right answer. So in real exam also, you can have 2 options exactly same. So how you will choose between those 2 options is like how we have figured out right now. Okay. So any doubts there, you can put it in the comment section. Yes, progressive elaboration and rolling wave elaboration. Yes, they will be like when whatever is there, you will work deeply into that. Once done, then you will be moving on to the next wave or the next progress. Okay. Yes, Reshma, it is a tough one because both are same. Okay, so both are same, and it's just by one word. Yeah, we have to choose option B over option C, right? So moving on to the next question. In a video game development project nearing a global beta release, several designers resist adopting a new collaboration platform, claiming it slows creative flow. Past delays have already frustrated publishers, and leadership warns that further misalignment could jeopardize the launch window. What should the project manager have initially done to facilitate adaptation of the new software? A. Implement incentives for early adopters and publicly recognize usage to accelerate cultural change. B. Pilot the platform with a small cross-disciplinary group, delaying broader rollout until after beta feedback cycles. C. Organize a comprehensive enablement program that demonstrate workflows, benefits, integration paths with hands-on practice before enforcement. D. Require team leaders to mandate usage in their squads using compliance checks to ensure adherence. Yes. So let's see. Let's see the comment section. So here the question emphasizes on what should have been preventive action. What should the project manager have initially done to facilitate adaptation of the new software? So it should have been a preventive action. So what should have been done earlier? So they are in middle of their release. They are nearing their release. So now the designers are assisting adopting a new collaboration platform which is being introduced to them, and they say complain that it slows their creative flow. So now they are warning that they cannot miss the launch window. Okay. What should the project manager should have done initially? So if you see, implement incentives is not a very right way, because they are not resisting because they are not motivated. They are resisting because it slows a creative flow. So that option can be eliminated at first place. Pilot the platform with small cross-disciplinary group, delaying broader rollout until after beta feedback cycles. Yes, this could have been a better option, because when you are asking the entire the designer team to onboard this platform, instead of that, you could have piloted it. Yes, can be a good option compared to A and B. C, organize a comprehensive enablement program that demonstrates workflows, benefits, and integration paths with hands-on practice before enforcement. So this option seems to be like, when you want the team to adapt to it, how you could have approached it at the first place. This seems to be more aligned with the PMI framework. Option B stands good, because before rollout, you wanted to test a small portion, and if the small portions would have given you a different feedback, then the rollout would have not possible. But when you wanted everybody to onboard it, if you wanted to do it in a very organizational enterprise way of doing it, then option C stands to be a best preventive action, what he should have done earlier. Okay, so as of now, C stands good. So D, require team leaders to mandate usage in their squads using compliance checks to ensure adherence. So this also seems to be like good option, but again, it is like following option B. But when the entire the designers have to roll on to this, adapt to this, then how they can do it without slowing down their creative flow should have been addressed first. So the concern that why they are resisting because it slows their creative flow. If they had given a proper hands-on practice on it even before asking them to work on, would have made them very clear about how they can make better use of it. So if this option directly addresses how this could have been approached in a different way, right? So that is the reason we are going with option C. Here the option B is not, that pilot is not MVP as of now. It is like testing with a few people working, few designers. You choose few designers to onboard that platform, check for that and get the feedback and roll out to it. Here their concern is it will slow their creative flow. Why? Because they need to figure out how they have to do it here. But option C addresses that pain point. It says it will have hands-on practice before enforcement with enabling a comprehensive program with demos, right? So it will teach you how to use it. So may be like they don't need to figure out so that they don't get their creative flow slowed down, right? So it addresses that point. Here the question doesn't ask what the project manager should do now, okay, or how he should act next. Here the question emphasizes on what should the project manager have done initially to facilitate adaptation. Okay, that is the emphasis on the question. So C stands more towards that particular question over here. Okay, moving on to the next question. A fire department modernization project faces extended timelines due to new compliance requests. The team is already working overtime and union representative warn morale is collapsing. The project manager worries about the motivation under mounting pressure. What action should be taken to keep the team motivated? Okay, offer monetary overtime incentives to accelerate delivery despite sustained compliance workload, reassign tasks to reduce workload in lower priority areas, and adjust sequencing to focus on high impact compliance activities, introduce mandatory team building activities to reinforce cohesion amid extended hours, regularly recognize contributions, and celebrate milestones. Okay, so let's see the comment sections. Okay, cool. Okay, so here we need to figure out what the question is emphasizing on. Okay, yes, there is a compliance request, so automatically whenever we see a compliance request, we always tend to like, okay, we have to put that as a high priority and then we have to reprioritize. So okay, which one address that? reassign the tasks to reduce workload in low priority areas, adjust sequencing to focus on high impact compliance activities, right? So our brain has always been trained like that, but we shouldn't miss identifying the emphasis on the question, the keyword. What action should be taken to keep the team motivated? Okay, why the team is not complaining that they have to work on the new compliance request. So already the team is working overtime, and they have got extended timelines because they have to work on the compliance request, and they are not able to cope up with it. Okay, so that is because it is mounting pressure on them that they have to be like every day work overtime, they are tired or something like that. So what action as a project manager you should do to keep the team motivated? Okay, offering money overtime incentives can be, but still they need to energize themselves and work on it. So they need to work on it, unless if they don't have that monetary need, right? They wanted to take a rest, so this option will not include that. Okay, so reassign task, as I said, the emphasis is not on how you prioritize the request, how you will motivate the team. So you have to eliminate option B. Option C, introduce mandatory team building activities to reinforce cohesions amid extended hours. So right now they don't have the time to do that because already the team has got extended timelines and the requests are there. They have to work overtime. So introducing such kind of a team building activity, that is not a concern at all. They are overworking, so that is a concern. So regularly recognize contributions and celebrate milestones. This seems to be like a more appropriate thing to do. That, like, if one person has done a very good in spite of their challenges, appreciating them there then and there. Okay, when they have completed a set of very complex requirement and then they are successfully done, appreciating and celebrating that milestone. It can be like buying you a small treat over there, when the environment is there. That would be the most appropriate thing to do right now for the team to push them towards that deliverable. Okay, push them towards that goal. So this addresses both the things, like then and there it has to be recognized and celebrated. So this is what I think every employee will be looking up for, right? Even though they are motivated, even though we all work for it, I think this option seems to be like a more convincing option for this question, right? So moving on to the next and the last question of today's session. During an enterprise digital transformation initiative, the team discovers an unforeseen need for a new AI analytics library critical for enhancing predictive dashboards. The release is scheduled for a board demonstration in 1 week, and executives have warned that missing advanced analytics will undermine confidence in the program. What should the project manager to manage this requirement? Convene a rapid prioritization session with the product owner and technical leads to assess value, integrate the library into the backlog, and adjust release planning transparently. Assign a specialist to integrate the library immediately to avoid slipping the board demo. Flag the need as a risk and escalate to steering committee for guidance before taking action. Update the timeline to reflect expected delays from integrating a new library without revisiting scope or value trades-off. Okay. So let's go and decode the question. So here the one of the keyword is executives have warned that missing advanced analytics will undermine confidence in the program. So that means, like, if you are going to miss this out, it is going to have an impact. Okay. So that means it has to be included. So option A addresses you rapidly prioritize with the product owner and technical lead to assess the value and put it in the backlog and do a planning transparently. So this will be like directly saying they have already want that it has to be included. So this option says how you will include it. Okay. Assign a specialist. Compared to option A, option B doesn't stand so good for the PMI framework and mindset. Okay. So similarly, C and D also can be eliminated for that reason. So I think we are done with today's session. Amir said he will be joining shortly. Yes, Reshma, the question 28 option is D, because when you are doing overtime, like, money is a hygiene factor, as one of the comment has been said. If it is there, we will be motivated. If it is not there, we will not be motivated at all, right? So maybe that is not the right way for the team right now they are working on. Okay. So just hold on, guys. Amir said he will be joining once we have done with the session. So I have let know Amir that our session is done. Hope you can leave in your feedbacks, like how the session was it helpful? Were you be able to identify how we can approach the questions? So you can put in the comment section, like whether it helped you out or not. By the way, guys, which question you felt like was you chose a wrong one, or you felt very difficult? So you can put it in the comment section. And if anything needs to be discussed further, you can take the you can mention the questions which we solved today, or you can take a screenshot after the session. It will be available on the YouTube. So you can take a screenshot, and if you want to discuss, you can discuss with your coaches, or you can put it in the groups which you are part of. Or if you're not part of Amir Ali's team, you can directly ask in the comment sections. We can discuss about it. So always one thing is very important when you are solving the question. Again, I will summarize. When we are answering the question, we all will be having a project manager experience already. So when we are answering the questions, our mind will be tricked to choose an answer which we are every day doing it, or which we are very much used to, or which we have practiced so far from the organization point of view, right? That is the only thing you have to have a mindset switch when you are solving the PMP questions. So PMI has this framework and mindset, and according to them, according to their mindset, a project manager should analyze first before acting, and they should have a proper identification done before acting upon. They should refer to the plan. If it is a predictive or hybrid, they should refer to the plan before making any action. They will have a direct solution for that action. But sometimes, based on the emphasis of the questions or the insistence of the question that is asked, you have to figure out what exactly they are asking, right? So this will help you out in choosing the options. So it was very interactive session, even though we are not able to directly interact, but I was able to read all the comment sections, and it was a great session, guys. Thank you so much. So Thank you so much. I think Amir has got another work to do, so he's not joining. And it was an amazing session. And I hope to see you guys in another session as well. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
I would have not been able to clear the exam if Amir Ali would have not been there. I would have not been.
I did not believe that I would be able to clear my PMP within a month.
I don't know what to say actually, like I'm kind of like really
I got my results and I was above target in all 3 categories.
Wow.
So